order the meeting of the Pleasant Grove City Council on this Tuesday, August the 20th, 2019. And we welcome all of our council members that are here this evening. We're all here, and staff and a few people who have joined us in our audience. And we welcome you. Usually we have a bigger crowd, so we're glad at least you guys showed up. So anyway, and there is a special reason why this one individual has shown up this evening, and we'll cover that a little bit later. But we would like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be given by, led by Councilman Jensen, after which we'll have opening remarks by Councilmember Williams.
Audience, please rise. Please repeat the pledge after me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our dear Heavenly Father, as we come before Thee this night, we express our gratitude and thanks for the many blessings which we have, the opportunity we have to live in this great country and in this great state and in this beautiful city of Pleasant Grove. Father, we ask Thee to bless us that we may be guided and directed in the affairs of our city with wisdom and with proper guidance, that we may do so in a manner that's pleasing to Thee, in a manner of civility, and a manner of cooperativeness. We're grateful, Father, for all that we have. Again, pledge our devotion to Thee in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
I'd like a motion for approval of tonight's meeting's agenda, and I don't believe we have any changes as we outlined in our work session. Do I have a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion to approve our large agenda for tonight.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Jensen and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll now open up to our open session. If there's anyone that has joined us this evening that would like to come forward and address the council at this time, are welcome to do so. I don't see a rush for the podium, so we'll now close our session, our open session, and move to item number 6, our consent items. A, B, C, D, and E is listed in your packets and on our thing there, and it's encouraging to see that all the work we've got going on, we're starting to get some of our bills paid and with different things here. But Marty, I know the one up Battle Creek there, the amount is for $57,000. Still got $2 million worth of work to get going on up there. So
I think that was for the month of July, which they
that
started
was July.
mid-July.
Okay.
So they've been doing a lot of work recently, so I'm sure the next one will be much larger. And yes, there's a lot of work to get done in the next 3 months up there.
So I'd ask for a motion on our consent items.
Just really quick, so the change order for Staker Parson, is that we have enough for that? That's okay? We're all right with that?
Yeah, so that change order, a lot of it is due to, we have added 5 of the properties. We've worked with the property owners there, and we're adding curb, gutter, and sidewalk in front of their properties and expanding the road over to connect to those. Some of that, we have agreements that the property owner is responsible to pay for the curb, gutter, and sidewalk. I believe that's around $42,000 or $43,000 for those 5 property owners of what they're paying towards that $110,000, and the rest of it is for widening the road and getting it to that new curb and gutter. So anyways, it's going to be a betterment for the whole project. We're glad we're going to have curb and gutter on the entire north side of the road now. Wow. Except for one section down by First East that we're still missing, but everything else on the north side of the road will have curb and gutter up through
Great.
the Murdoch Canal. So,
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve tonight's consent items.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Williams, a second by Councilmember Anderson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Now, we'll now move on to our number 7, Board Commission Committee appointments. And I would like a young man to come forward. His name is Brigham Dunford. Would you come up to the podium here? Brigham is a senior at Pleasant Grove High School, and he is the mayor's intern for this semester.
Wow.
Now, I'm really special when I get my own intern, okay? And the class that's part of this internship is,
It's workplace skills.
okay. So, council, if you have any other, we've got him first semester.
Great.
His,
So is this just a mayor's intern, or is this a mayor council intern?
well, I'm willing to let him, I'll give him direction, okay? So it's depends on how nice you are to me.
Don't worry about Eric's list.
Yeah, we just got through with Eric's list here.
Well, this is this a new thing?
This is a new thing.
This is great.
This is the first.
Remarkable. I'm
Yeah.
proud of you. This is wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What your plans are after school and what you're doing this year?
I'm just getting started. First day was today. Want to improve my GPA and get accepted into BYU as soon as admissions open, and hoping to get into law and study political science.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm more interested more in the process. Did you approach us? Did we approach him?
Oh, he approached me.
Really? That is great.
That's awesome.
I
Okay.
would love to write you a recommendation.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't know if it was Jody or were you in the office when I don't know, he called or he came in and wanted to know, and they all had a blank look on the system. Well, I don't think the mayor does interns. And then they asked me, and I says, well, let me talk to the young man.
You actually might be in a hard hat working the roads, but
Yeah. So
as part of internship,
I'll
pupils,
take what I
but-
can get.
So
Hey,
he's
that's
a-
great.
Any other questions for Brigham?
Welcome.
You drive a forklift?
Yeah.
I work at a hardware store, and they haven't taught me yet, but I like to.
He's-
I'm teasing.
What was that?
No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go into political science. Well, that's great. Well, congrats. We're welcome to, glad to have you, and yeah, let's put him to work.
What part of town do you live in?
I'm just a mile east of the temple. I'm along 2600.
He's up where the streets are a little better. Some places, oh, not quite. Well, hey, better.
So maybe you want to intern for Marty.
Mayor, if you needed something to do, we can go teach them about roads. There's plenty of work there, so.
He's not in engineering on purpose.
Good for you. I think
That's-
we need a picture. This is like kind of a historic moment. It's the first ever mayor's intern we've ever had.
Okay, we can do that. We
Yeah.
can do that when the council, let's get a picture.
Are you all right if we take a photo?
You know, why don't you just come up here and stand without the picture? Come on up here. Who can take the picture?
Kyler.
Okay, Kyler.
Yeah. But Kyler is never in any photos. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is pretty cool.
I'm afraid I'm a little overdressed.
No, you're not overdressed. Adorable.
That's right.
Okay, all right.
Let's fill in this gap. That's great. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
That's a higher level shot.
I'll be thinner in that photo.
So make sure you use that.
Well, great.
So don't,
It's an
Yep.
honor.
You bet.
and don't be shy about broadcasting that the council is looking for interns.
Sure. I've got a couple friends.
I want to see this on Instagram.
Hey, we only have office space for so many, so.
That's true.
I thought you were gonna say, don't be shy about how awesome we are. Like, pass that along to your friends and family. And
It wasn't what you expected at all.
and Brigham, what was your last name again? Dunford. Yes. Okay.
Like the donut.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
Awesome. Welcome. This is so cool.
Thank you, family.
Yeah.
So,
It's a dream of his, so thank you very much for building that.
So he has to come to every council meeting from, I think now, right?
well, I don't know, this, now,
Let's not
these
torture
these are
Eric,
going,
Eric,
we'll have to
simmer
get
down.
one that's till 11 o'clock or something, so he really knows what they're all about, but this is going to be real short
But he has
tonight,
a real
Greg, so.
You can watch us on
So-
YouTube.
And,
That's fine.
but, you know, and he, if I'm nice to him and he likes us, he may do it for another semester. So anyway, so we'll just see how that works
So
out.
we're actually on, you know.
We're
this is
on,
our
that,
interview.
that's right, that's right. This is maybe what works there. And he already has his first assignment.
Okay, what's his assignment?
Yes, and I think he started looking at it today. He was going to give us, go to our webpage, our city webpage, and see how user-friendly it is, and kind of rate it to see what, so he's working on that.
Okay.
And then he's going to compare that with all the other cities in Utah County's webpage.
Very nice.
So we're working on some, he'll do a little ghostwriting for me and other
All right.
things, and, hey, so,
So if you stop sounding like yourself, then we'll.
that's right, that's,
If I get an email and it doesn't sound like you.
In 2 years, we vote Brigham Dunford mayor.
If you get an email from the mayor, you know it's coming from me.
Email is dead.
yeah. So anyway, and we are just laid back just a little bit in our council meetings, and sometimes I do wear a tie, but it's the middle of summer, so anyway, you're fine. And so, and he's said I can call him Brig, so whatever, so.
Okay.
So, but anyway, but thank you for coming this evening. We look forward to working with you. We hope it's the same for you, so anyway. Okay, we'll get down to our business, since we've got so much this evening. We do not have any public hearings this evening, but we do have one, item number 10, an action item for our vote, and we'll turn it over to our general counsel. If you'll enlighten us on our deer population.
So Mayor and Council, as you're aware, over the last several years, we've had an increasing problem with the domestic deer population within the city. They have been the cause of an uncalculated amount of damage to property, to foliage, trees, shrubs, flowers, that kind of thing. And then also, we've had a problem with them causing a number of automobile accidents within the city in terms of citizens hitting deer along our roads. A few months ago, Administrator Darrington talked to the council about a program that's available to help reduce the population of the urban deer. One of the requirements of that program is that we enact an ordinance making it illegal for people to purposefully feed or bait wild deer, elk, or moose, or allow the placement of food, grain, minerals, or similar substances within Pleasant Grove City. In order to qualify for the urban deer reduction program, we need to have this ordinance. So what's before you tonight is a proposal to add in addition to Title 5, Chapter 1C, subsection 14, feeding of wildlife, of wild deer, elk, or moose prohibited. There are some exceptions in subsection 2. It does not apply to public employees or authorized agents acting within the scope of their employment. Owners of deer, elk, or moose that have properly been permitted by Pleasant Grove City and the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources to be kept within city limits. If you have unintended feed, such as vegetation or certain plants around your home or on your property that they tend to like, that's not a violation. And then any normal agriculture or livestock operation practices. And of course, for whatever reason, they felt it important to make sure that it was okay for you to feed wild songbirds or hummingbirds. That also will not violate the ordinance. So, do you have any questions about that?
And what's the penalty if they do?
It's a misdemeanor if they do. So they can be cited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they would be given a citation similar to a speeding ticket or something like that, and they would be, have to come to court.
And this is the first step in allowing us to move forward to,
Yes. So the next step will be a presentation from the department, and they'll come in and explain what the program is. And then my understanding is we're also required to have a public hearing before the program is implemented, so the public has an opportunity to weigh in on the council's decision whether or not to implement the program.
but this will be effective regardless of
Yes. So
what happens.
whether or
down the road.
not we go forward with the program, this will still be on the books until otherwise
Okay.
removed.
And we'll put this out on social media tomorrow so that people know. Because we might have a couple residents that are purposely feeding deer.
Tina, what's the downside to this?
Well, I think it's just a philosophical discussion between whether or not you feel like urban deer should be protected or whether or not you feel urban deer are a nuisance and should be eliminated or reduced. That's really the downside. If you are somebody who feels like the urban deer population isn't a problem and you want to protect that wildlife, then this would be something that you wouldn't be in favor of.
You know, Council, I like seeing deer in the city, but I don't like 300 deer in our city, or more. You know, I think that's, we've definitely have a problem with urban deer in our neighborhoods. The ones and twos don't bother me that are living close, but when we have herds and large population of deer, I've actually hit a deer in our city.
Really?
Yeah, I hit a deer on First East, it's been about 4 or 5 years ago, but, so they're around and everyone knows they're around. I don't see any problem with, starting here, deterring the deer from living here and
Yeah,
living in our backyards. I think as we go down this process, it could get very, very expensive, and I think we just need to figure out ways to mitigate those expenses. Those are some thoughts.
Agreed.
Any other questions? If not, thank you. And I will now ask for a motion on ordinance number 2019-18.
Mayor, I'll make a motion to adopt an ordinance 2019-18, amending Title 5, Chapter 1C, adding Section 14, feeding wild deer and elk, wild deer, elk, or moose prohibited, and providing for an effective date.
We have a motion by Councilmember Williams and a second by Councilmember Walker. And this will be a roll call vote. We'll start with Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Jensen.
Yes.
Councilmember Lamone.
Yes.
Councilmember Walker.
Yes.
Councilmember Williams.
Yes.
Passes unanimously. Thank you. That finishes our business for this evening.
I do have a question, Mayor, about the
Go ahead.
I do have a question about the process of, like, what do people do if they want to report, and how is this going to be enforced?
Would it be like non-emergency dispatch, like a code enforcement thing?
So
Will that be in the information
Was
going
that
out?
a no, chief, or was that a? No, I don't know. Oh, okay. He's shaking his head, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe that's
There's a
not.
new
I mean,
thing.
because that is true. If we're going to put it out there, we need to have the process in place of how they report or how they.
How they
Yeah,
report?
no, if somebody notices something, then yeah, they call police dispatch and we'll send an officer out, see if there's a violation of the law.
Okay,
So it's really just kind of business as usual as far as that's concerned.
okay.
So,
So dispatch, and that information will be in the information that goes out to the residents?
yeah, we'll just say that this is now an ordinance that's been adopted. If anybody feels they need to report something, then call the police dispatch. So
Okay.
we'll put that in the email tomorrow.
I think that's important to include how someone goes about that.
Sorry, I misunderstood the question. I
No.
thought you were talking about down the road.
No, okay.
Yeah, the deer mitigation is
The-
going to be a
the
completely
permit.
different issue. as far as how that's reported and how that's going to be taken care of.
I'm just talking, I'm thinking that,
Reporting someone
Reporting
feeding
feeding the
illegally.
deer.
yes.
Down the road, it's just every man for himself, and you just start shooting.
And quite honestly, and I mean,
You know, I'm
and
just-
Chief Roberts understands this, because this is new, you know, we'll go in and we'll work with people and, you know, ask them not to do it. I mean, it's not like the citation's gonna be slapped right away. We'll work with people for the time being, and if they choose to ignore it, then that's a different issue, and if they just take care of it, we'll be fine, so.
And I meant shooting the deer. That's what I was.
Yes.
Okay, let's just
That's,
clarify.
I understood that completely.
You know, after December, Lynn will need another job, so maybe we can enlist him, give him
I'll volunteer for that.
a back.
Yes, he will.
Great side job, Lynn.
Did you see how fast he seconded that one?
That would be free of charge.
He kind of knows who's doing that anyway up there a little bit, so we'll have to look at that, so.
No, I've told you, I was out shoveling my snow, and one woman pulled around and said, Diana, we need a deer crossing sign in front of the house. And then she drives away, and then the next car, literally, that pulled around the corner was a guy in a red pickup. Diana, kill the deer. This is our job. This is how fun it is.
Well, they've been around for a long time, Todd, because when I was 16, I hit one with a 55 Chev up on 2600 North. And it didn't hold up very well, so anyway, but.
The deer or the truck?
Well, both. 55 Chev kind of took a
No, I hit
bait,
one in my
too.
Volvo, and I still have the dents because, anyway.
So, all right, well, we'll now finish up what we didn't accomplish with our long list of things in the work session, but we will, Sherry, would you share with us? You want to share with us anything you have?
Sure, it looked like you were still saying something. So we are, the Historical Commission has been doing monthly home tour visits of historical homes. Lynn's house was the first one. We did one last night.
Old Fort?
Yeah, and it was fun. And they're always really interesting because they, along with explaining the homes, everybody has really good stories about Old Pleasant Grove.
Was it a good turnout last night?
Not as big as the others, maybe 20.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, the one before that, we had over 100.
Yeah.
But we have our last one coming up next month. So it's kind of, we're doing it twice. So, excuse me. We're going to highlight Old Main Street. And so we've talked to Test Out and worked it out with them so that, and we're finding historical pictures of what was there before, and doing kind of an individual walking tour and then a social after where people can ask questions. And there will be photos, there will be some history. It should be fun and really interesting. And we'll be doing that during Heritage Day on the 16th, right? Yeah, pretty sure. And then also on the 23rd, Monday the 23rd. So you can do it at one or the other or both.
Cool.
That's
Oh.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
you.
But I want one in October for a haunted home tour. So we'll work with
Is the
them
back
on
home
that.
still up?
Yeah.
Tyler, anything at the rec do you need to share with us?
So yeah, since we last met, we had our cleaning and it went very well. We had great help from Parks Department on the first day helping us, and we were able to get some painting done on the stairs in there and some of the banisters going around, and just a lot accomplished, and get that place cleaned up for people to come back in for the fall. We saw everyone come back today with the students parked up above. It was nice to have that parking lot cleared, but it's definitely full again with students coming back to high school. So, yeah, we can tell that everyone's back to their schedules. And just moving into, we just hired a new fitness director up at the rec center. Her name is Andrea Vinker. She's a Pleasant Grove resident. And we are really excited. She has been in the fitness industry. She's been teaching group fitness for about 10 years and brings a lot of excitement, and she's on social media a lot with a lot of the stuff she does, and just really excited to have her on board up there. So.
And she's part-time, that's right?
Yeah, she's part-time as well.
Dion?
Sorry, one really quick, last day at the pool. Tyler?
So today we started our after-school hours, so we go till Labor Day. And
Okay,
so,
what are the after-school hours?
so it's 4 to 8 after school. The Saturdays and Labor Day will still be the
30 to-
30
okay.
to 8. And
Until Labor Day, okay.
Till Labor Day.
Nothing?
Dion, yes, Dion, yes. I know you have something. The score tower got painted.
We had two items at the playground features at Discovery Break this last weekend.
Oh, really? Use?
Adults getting on them.
Really?
One of the frog spring toys broke, and then the tube slide broke also. So their parts are ordered, but it's just too much weight is what's the problem.
Really?
And Dion, the landscaping looks good out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was a hot day, but it was kind of interesting. We got the trees in and the weed mat down. The rocks weren't supposed to get there till the next day. They showed up at noon that day, and so we just finished it up. So good project to finish up with the kids leaving for school.
Hey, Dion, speaking of Discovery, someone had made the comment that the handicap parking stall is further away than it should be. It's like on the opposite side or something. Do you know about this?
Yeah, we need to repaint it. We also need to add one more ADA stall. That's
Okay.
the project, the concrete work that we'll be getting done in the next couple.
Okay, so you're aware. Discovery. Yeah, okay, just want to make sure you're aware. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll ask Chief Thomas's proxy to, have you got anything to share with us? You know, and I have to say, you picked a good night to take this assignment.
Yeah, you did.
So,
But tell Chief we went till midnight.
Yeah.
I will. I feel fortunate, yes, that my first council experience is been so nice.
20 minutes.
By the way, this is Chase Gussman. He is the battalion chief.
I've got
Welcome.
nothing for you.
Nothing? Just anything.
Okay. We start our 3 new fire department employees on Monday, the 26th. They start their 2-week camp. We also hired, and she starts, our administrative assistant starts on Monday also, the 26th. So new faces at the fire department.
Cool. Will you pass along to Chief to make sure that we get them in here as soon as possible, so when they're walking around town, we know who they are?
I believe that is already scheduled.
Is it? Okay, good.
We've discussed it amongst the fire department, but I believe we're going to get everyone, with Chief Patton's leaving the Lone Peak, we're going to get everybody
Chief Patton's leaving Lone Peak?
left to Lone Peak.
Oh, okay.
Since he's left us
Yeah.
and gone to Lone Peak.
Yeah.
Where every trickle-down spot, I believe we're going to try to get into council to
Okay,
let you all know who we are.
thank
Love it.
you. And congrats to your promotion.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Mike, will you?
Business as usual for us. If you're not aware, I think we averted tragedy yesterday. I think you guys spoke about it in staff meeting today. If you're not aware, we had an individual, a 26-year-old man from Layton. He got on his Facebook page and posted some pictures with some guns and basically made threats that he wanted to die by suicide by cop and kind of just some dangerous stuff. Well, a couple hours later, a friend of his got a few texts, actually 2 different friends, and he was texting them saying that he was out and about and going to force a cop to shoot him. And his intention was to kill the first cop that approached him, and then he was going to have a shootout until he took it. And if we didn't engage him, he was just going to start killing people randomly until we did. So we did a little bit of work. He dropped a pin on Instagram, which his friend sent us, and it showed he was at doTERRA. So he was in the parking lot of doTERRA, and
Really quick, Chief, so how did we get the call from Layton?
his friend called our dispatch
His friend who
saying,
lives in Pleasant Grove?
because I don't know if you know what drop a pin is, but
Yeah.
he identified himself on Instagram, and that's where he was, so.
Okay, so he's from Layton, but down in this area?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know why he would pick that place, but
Okay.
he was there, so. Anyways, so we put doTERRA on lockdown and sent all of our unmarked cars, which I'm glad we had a lot of unmarked out yesterday, so we didn't cause mass panic with doTERRA and their employees, because of course they have no idea what's going on. And with some really good help from doTERRA security and their employees, they were able to identify, dispatch was able to identify some pictures and some vehicle pictures through Facebook, so we could disseminate it to our officers. doTERRA security located him on their security cameras and followed him. We had some SWAT stuff en route down there, but just with the danger, we we couldn't wait, so a couple of our guys just got in an unmarked and raced up and took him down, and we were lucky that it went well. And he had a backpack that was full of ammunition. We believe he threw the gun before, so there's most likely a gun somewhere down there. We've had a couple dogs down there sniffing, but I think his intentions were real, and we were just lucky enough to get down there without being identified in time for him to realize what was going on.
So no shots were fired?
Nothing.
and, Hey, Chief, great work.
It wasn't me, it was John Clayton and our guys. Lieutenant Clayton did a fantastic job of setting that up and setting a perimeter without even tipping our hand that we were there, so went great.
Oh my
How
gosh.
did they, this is maybe not something for this meeting, but how did they approach the car?
Well, we made a decision because he started moving. He left from an isolated spot where he was towards the parking lot. And the problem is when you lock something down, we can lock it down, but we can't, that's a huge area, so it's hard for us to stop all the traffic coming in. And so they start arguing with, we have to go to work, and it's hard. So there was people that were actually trying to come in, so we just made a decision to go dynamic and get him down before somebody got hurt, and we were just lucky enough to do that. And
On the west side, I lose my directions down there, but on the front parking lot or in the back parking lot?
rear parking lot.
Okay. The rear.
Oh my gosh.
So went well. We're lucky.
Wow.
Other than that, I don't have much.
So school walkthrough, was school starting today? Is
We
that still
started
going
them
strong?
today, yeah.
It started today?
Other than that, we've been talking about deers.
I know.
Yeah, we started our random walkthrough program today.
Okay, awesome.
Yep. Very good.
Chief, thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the thing is, I didn't see it on the news or anything.
It's in the
Oh, it is
Daily
now?
Herald has it, yeah.
Okay. You
We
just don't
kept it- we were-
realize that stuff like that happens here.
In there's only one person that I know of that's gotten on our police department Facebook page and asked why Doterra was on lockdown, so that's pretty incredible with that many people
That's what I
being
was
locked
gonna
down.
say,
Nobody
You
questioning it.
didn't cause a panic and,
So, yeah.
yeah, thank you. Wow.
Thank you. Kyler, you have anything for us this evening?
We did have our first electronic time card submitted this week, so we're almost to the year 2009 in our payroll. So we're getting up there. Hopefully we're working out a few of the bugs and hopefully we'll implement it to more of our city employees. But that's
Okay, wait.
Well, if you
Walk
need
us
help,
through what,
well,
like,
no,
what
if you
just
need, if you
happened.
need help, Brigham's here to help. He's very familiar with
This phone in about
the
2 seconds.
electronics.
Hey, down, boy.
So, this means that how many employees are now submitting electronically?
So right now, we've just done a few administrative employees to test out the system.
So one.
No, there's more than one. I submitted mine wrong on purpose even. So, I mean, we've been just testing it out with some of our finance, HR staff.
Okay.
Hopefully, it worked pretty seamlessly this time, and so we'll roll it out to more of our employees probably who are at a computer all day long.
And then is the goal, I'm assuming, to get everyone submitting electronically?
Yeah, I think most of our employees, I think there's a few of our part-time that'll be difficult.
Why is that?
If your rec employees is a great example. They're out on a field, maybe not have access to a computer to submit their time cards.
But can't you do it on your phone? Because there is software that allows you to do it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so we have,
I do want to come up to the 21st century.
we're moving that direction. One of the reasons we're a little reluctant with our rec employees is we do have quite a few employees there that work 2 weeks. And so to train them on an electronic system,
Okay.
it's our hope right now is to get the bulk of our work done with our full-time and then our regular part-time and see how that works and then move it on to some of those other employees.
Baby steps.
Baby
So-
steps. That's
So
where we're going.
What's kind of the end goal for getting them at least full-time online? Like what date?
One of our challenges, I'm going to avoid your question, Councilmember Lamone. We, just in working with Cassell, it's been a lot longer process than we would hope for. So I think within the next 3 months, I would hope that we have all of our full-time
Submitting electronically?
submitting electronically.
Okay.
So is that January, kind of January 1 timeframe to have our full-time done?
Okay.
And part-time, I think it'll just be, how can we communicate the passwords and everything like that to them?
Okay. All right, thank you.
And just additionally, we did have some employee wellness screenings, and I just want to inform you all that we have very healthy employees.
Really? Good.
So we're not the ones breaking the frogs or the slides.
Yeah. It's not us, Dan.
So tell us who the healthiest one in the office is.
Oh, by far Jody is the
Okay.
healthiest.
Right, I just want to make,
employee.
but I don't think I'd classify all of you guys in the healthy category, though.
And if you want to know, my bones weigh like 9 pounds, so.
The big bone
We
thing,
learned all
the big
sorts of
bone-
great
bone
information
argument.
about ourselves. But I can tell you, we have really healthy employees. And then lastly, our performance measurement system, we have
Why you hired Andy?
numbers for July that we're already getting in. So eventually, after we get a few months, after we get this under our belt, you'll hear a little more about that.
Awesome, thank you.
So I was just going to add to the HR, we've actually had that module for over 4 years, and it was just never implemented. And so it's something that we had paid for, probably about this time of year, 4 years ago. And so just getting, we actually have a payroll person, Christian Larson now, and he's been pretty innovative about going. So last Wednesday, we actually sent him and Mike to Cassell office, and they spent 8 hours there just finding all the ways of things that we can do better in our payroll module. So there will be other things that no one sees on their side, but we have a lot of things that we're doing data entry on, that we have to do monthly journal entries, and eventually we're trying to streamline that, so that will all just be through payroll, and we won't be doing journal entries to bill out all the insurance to all the departments, those type of things. So that was really good, and it was at no charge to the city because we went on site. And they went with another city, they went with North Salt Lake, so they did both cities with payroll, so it was really good. So yeah, that's gonna be huge, I think, and it's gonna be great. I think the biggest problem is Cassell, it's a great program, it works with what we need, but when you get multiple pay codes, it's not set up for that. That's the biggest problem with rec too, is you might have someone who's reffing, and then they're working at the pool, and they're doing all these things, and we'll have to just find a way. I think that'll be the biggest.
So what's the solution to that?
There's actually.
Is there different companies we
You
can
can
go through?
actually get an add-on software that's just like a timekeeper, and then it talks to Cassell, but that costs money too. So those are just things that we'll have to look through as we move forward.
Most software is made for traditional employees, but cities have a lot of different rules within FLSA that a fireman can work a different number of hours than a policeman, than someone who's just doing accounting. And so there's a lot more rules that we have for governments that the private systems just aren't always as robust to meet all of those rules. And so it's a little antiquated the way we have to do it. But I'll tell you, the way we're doing it is not different than most of Utah County right now. So the fact that we're moving to electronic timekeeping, American Fork's not doing it yet. Lehigh's not on electronic yet. It's something that governments struggle because we have so many quirky rules.
Okay, good to know.
Anything else, Denise?
Just, it's audit time, so that's always exciting, so yeah, just be
That's
doing
fun.
that. And we did submit, we actually had Christian Larson and Nate, I can't remember Nate's name, they actually were really great helping me get the comprehensive budget prepared. Our normal budget's like 40 pages, the comprehensive to submit to the Government Finance Officers Association is about 160 pages. So it was really great. I tasked Christian with that, and him and I worked on that together, and then I even had to get Kyler in to help me with some things yesterday so I could get it submitted. But yeah, so that was submitted yesterday for certification, so that's great. And next thing will be the audit, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scott, do you have anything else for us?
Just a reminder, next week we'll canvass the election, 5 o'clock, we'll meet here. It will be the only item. It won't be a full-fledged council meeting. We'll just open the meeting, canvass the results, and close the meeting. But we do need a quorum. Do we have 3 council members that are going to be here?
I think we only have one out,
Okay, that's all I have.
so we'll be
Will we
good.
have the results from the county at that point?
Well, yeah, they're
Yes,
required
that
to
morning.
get them to,
That morning?
usually they send them like at 3 o'clock that afternoon, so we're hoping we get them a little bit before then, but.
So Tina, do you have anything to add?
Just to report that the oral arguments have been set on the road fee litigation, so October 10th.
Sorry, the what? The date?
October 10th
Okay.
at 10 a.m., American Fork District Court, Judge Griffin's courtroom, oral arguments on our motion for summary judgment on the road fee.
Is the public allowed to attend?
It is a public place. You can attend.
October 10th at
10 a.m.,
10 a.m.
American Fork District Court. It's by their old fire station.
And you won't be the one giving that, it will be
No, it'll
the
be.
attorney that we've hired?
It'll be Rob Keller most likely and/or Jody Burnett. So all the written documentation's been filed. The only way that it could take longer would be as if the judge asked for some additional briefing of some kind.
And could there be a decision made?
He won't
that-
make the decision that day.
Okay.
He'll take it under advisement and issue a written ruling.
I was just picturing like A Few Good Men, where the jury comes
No.
back like,
It will not be like that.
Okay.
It's an,
it's not quite
so,
like that.
a little education for our pre-law student over there. An oral argument, you don't have any witnesses, you don't get to question, there's no testimony taken. It's simply the attorney standing up, giving argument as to their position on their case. Judge hears one side, here's the other side gets to rebut, other side gets to rebut. Judge says, thank you very much, I'll take it under advisement, I'll issue a written ruling in however long.
I mean, it still sounds interesting.
Yeah, I would think that everybody would want to go and just hear it.
Okay.
Who's the judge, do we know?
Yeah, his name's Roger Griffin, and he's actually a judge that I've appeared in front of on the criminal calendar many times. He's a good judge.
Thank you.
And
for
Tina,
your
what
work
is
on that.
what is the likelihood of an appeal?
I don't know that. I can't even guess that.
And how soon would he come back with a decision? Are we talking like 48 hours, 2 weeks?
I think he'll take a little while on it because he'll want to make sure that he's got a good written decision just in case it is appealed.
Okay.
Because if it is appealed, it'll go up on the record. And so whatever his decision, all of the case law and everything that he cites in his decision will be what the appellate court will be reviewing.
Okay.
So he'll want to make sure that's fairly detailed.
Documented, sure.
Thank you.
Well, anything else? Well, we welcome you back, Marty. We were
Yeah,
glad
good to
you.
be back, I guess. It's busy. Come back into the middle of everything, but a lot of things going on. Just today I received the final notice, but we received information back on the Volkswagen settlement. I don't know if you'd heard about that
What's
yet. Pleasant Grove City was awarded for 5 vehicles.
Really?
$410,000.
Wow.
So we haven't decided what we're doing, but they made a big press release, and Pleasant Grove was one of, I think, about 12 cities that received
Hey, wait.
funding.
Explain this whole thing.
So the whole thing is the VW settlement that Utah was given a certain amount of the bigger settlement that the United States received, and they have chosen to allocate a portion of that to upgrades to vehicles that pollute. So really, we had to select vehicles that were older than a 2006 vehicle. They had to meet certain criteria for usage on the road. We had to go through it. Probably took us a day and a half, pulling all the information from them.
This is something we had to apply for and
Yes.
spend time. It's not like you have to apply, be awarded, things like that, meet the
Right.
criteria.
I think us and Orem City were the only 2 in Utah County.
Really?
At least that's
awesome.
what the article said that I read.
So it sounds like it paid off like that.
Yeah, so, well,
awesome.
what we need to decide then next, so we've got 5 vehicles. There were 4 street vehicles and 1 water vehicle that were awarded the 50% grant. And the terms of that is that all the vehicles, so these are our 99 vehicles. They're 20-plus years old, a lot of them. We have a flatbed Ford that was also approved. But we have to dismantle the vehicle. We can't sell the vehicle. They don't want it to go back on the market. So there is some value to that we're giving up, but these are vehicles that are on our replacement schedule. They need to be replaced anyways. And so there is a requirement for us to take and, put a hole through the engine block and a few other things so that they aren't able to be used and put back on the road again. That's not the intent of the funding. It was to.
But you can scrap metal them or,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, scrap them out.
We just
Actually,
have to
might be
make sure
some
they're
fun
not used.
taking them apart and,
So we're
Cool,
coming
that's
up with some
awesome.
creative
Target
things, so.
practice.
Anyways, so that was a good thing to see finally.
Cool.
We didn't get our street sweeper. That was the one that we were hoping would be funded. We did apply for that funding, but they didn't award that one. So we'll then have to determine, right now, there's no budgets, I mean, to acquire these vehicles, things of that nature. So those things we'll have to work through. We have 3 years, as I
Replace
understand it, before we would actually have to utilize all the funding.
Yeah,
so.
so to clarify, this is a matching grant up to 5 vehicles. So we don't have we did budget some money as a match on this year's budget. So we're not gonna get all 5 right away. If we get 1 or 2 this year, we'll be happy. And then, but we have 3 years, and so in next year's, if we have money available, then we can, match again. So it's nice that we were matched for 5, but now we have to have the money on our end to do the 50/50. So
Marty, I
we're in
think,
process of getting that all figured out.
Marty, I think the fire department could help you taking them apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're good at that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
oh, cool.
Yeah, so we'll talk more about that, but that was a great
That's awesome.
thing to
Thank
finally
you for doing
get a
that.
response on, so we were glad to hear that, so. Projects are moving forward, just some quick updates. 220 South, there was some questions whether or not the intersection was gonna be opened back up. We do have this pipe bursting project happening on State Street between 220 South and Center Street, and they should be opening up that intersection in the next couple of days. So that'll open back up if you get any questions about that. The First East project, all I can say is that they've kind of set some new timeframes. They're supposed to, so the seal coat that was supposed to start at the beginning of August, it's a micro surface, will now be starting at the end of this week. They're saying Friday, they'll start on it. It'll go for a week, and then the following week after they get the new surface down, they will be doing the striping. So that'll happen the week of September 2nd. So if there's any questions further on that, that's what's going on with First East. Third East is moving along well, and the section from Second South to Center Street should be paved this week. And so things are moving along on those. And Battle Creek Springs is the first spring, the big spring, should be completed in the next couple of weeks. They're starting to lay pipe now up there. They're working on their second spring rehab area. So a lot of things moving forward on that.
How many springs have you determined there is now?
We're currently looking, we plan to look at 7 of them that have been utilized in the past. There's one other one that we didn't know about that was being collected up by the Battle Creek Springs area, the Big Springs area. And so that one was already being collected, and that one is getting rehabilitated as well. So it should be between 7 and 8, but some of them, depending on their production, we may decide that it's not worth collecting it and extending the pipe there. So we've got some exploration to do before we actually move forward with some of that work. But it's all moving forward. There was questions on Battle Creek and I think as far as what they've released from the Forest Service, I met with them this morning in our project meeting, and they're saying that the Battle Creek Falls is still closed up through the 30th, is what we understood, but there's some clarification that needs to be had on that. We were trying to understand from them, but that's what I understood, is they extended it for 2 more weeks, from the 16th up through that. Now, the trail is still closed because of the Springs project, rehabilitation project. They have marked at the base that the actual loop that comes up all the way through Battle Creek Canyon is closed down due to the construction project that's going up. That's going to be right on the trail, and so they don't want people walking up through the construction zone. And so the canyon's actually closed down from the falls down after that anyways. But anyways, that's the information on that. So any other questions, I guess, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them.
Yes, I have one. PG Boulevard, striping of that, some areas are kind of faint.
Okay.
Have we looked at that?
We do have a plan to do, mainly it's between North County Boulevard and 13th West. That area there is scheduled probably around the second it's in about 2 weeks, actually, I think it's the 9th of September, that we're trying to get, we've got a number of striping projects, including 6th West, 13th West on 1100 North, some sections up on 3300 North, and then also that stuff down on Pleasant Grove Boulevard will be restriped, so.
Okay. Okay, anything else? Yes, Marty? Okay. Sid, have you got anything for us this evening?
Really quick, where are we at with the swimmer's itch? Like, could it be gone? It was just kind of like that perfect storm of heat and. But there's no way unless we pay for the testing to know that it's officially gone? Okay.
Most of that was just completely preventative, based on some people, I think, that had been swimming that said that they, started itching. But I don't know if they ever went to the doctor and had it confirmed, to our knowledge. But it was at that point we said, hey, this is possible, so we posted it.
But it could be gone. I mean, it sounds like it is.
I think we would like to leave that up for the rest of the
Okay,
year.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But you haven't had any reported cases like that one day? Okay. Okay. This is probably a question for Marty, and I don't know how much Dion's crew is involved with this. What are your thoughts on a fall cleanup similar to spring, maybe not for a week long, but for 3 or 4 days, a fall cleanup where people are kind of cleaning up their yards, just kind of getting ready for that season? There's a cost to that. But what if we didn't do it the entire week? What if it was just like a weekend or something? Could you get some numbers and just, is that even possible for this year? Is it too late?
So we'd have to look and see what we spent during the spring cleanup, and 20,000 probably.
Oh, it's that
plus,
much?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because
Okay.
we gotta pay for all of that trash
Right.
to be hauled off too, not only the trash bins, but the actual weight of
Okay.
those.
The tipping fees.
Plus, all of our guys work, overtime to
Okay.
cover a lot of those. Any after hours was covered by overtime, or weekend work was covered with overtime work. So, yeah, there's quite an expense to do it. Not to say that we couldn't. It's just I don't know where the budget would be to cover that, because it's not currently in any budget to do another even 3 or 4 days. But if that's
Sid,
what,
are you getting requests for that?
No, well, someone had just posted that, I guess it was like National Fall Cleanup Day. I don't know. I just saw it, and I thought if there's an opportunity for us to help residents clean up their yards and kind of get ready for.
I agree.
So,
Yeah, I agree.
no one's really complaining or anything. It just, I've had a couple questions in the past, but I mean, nothing big. I just thought maybe if we get some numbers on, like I said, not a full week, but maybe just a weekend or something, what that would look like and see.
look into it, but I'm guessing you're talking 15 grand.
Okay. Well, and that's good
When
to
you
know.
start talking about hours and
Okay.
trash bin and haul off things, so.
Okay. All right, thank you. That's all.
Would you like to see some information then? Is that what you're saying, or?
Yeah, if we could just get the numbers. And then at least if people ask, we can let them know that there is that cost associated with it. Or if it's something we decide to do either this year or in the future, at least we'd have the numbers to know what we're looking at.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know a lot of neighborhoods kind of do a kind of fall cleanup or a spring cleanup. But if we can give the opportunity to residents to clean up their yards and clean up their houses, yeah, we've got North Point that's, very, very close, but a lot of times people don't have the capabilities of taking junk or trash to the dump. So anyway, yeah, just
Very
some
well
information.
utilized service, obviously in the spring. It is just packed,
Yeah.
busy, overflowing bins. We're doing the best we can to get as many bins as we can and keep them clean, keep them empty.
I think it's a good service.
But
So.
the question comes in then, well, we need to come up with a budget that
Right.
would cover that cost, and there's some expense to that we don't
Okay.
currently have in a budget, so.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Anything else, Sid?
No, that's all.
Eric?
I have 2 more.
Oh, my gosh.
No, one was all,
We just did like a dozen.
the first one's quick. You got your Fox Hollow invite from Scott? Yes. For Thursday?
Yep.
I accepted. See you there, okay. And
Oh, the
then
invite was from Fox Hollow. I just noticed some of you hadn't picked it up in your box, so I just
There's
sent
just
a
a few
reminder
that haven't
email.
picked it
It's
up.
this Thursday, what, State of the City?
Yeah, well, we'll recommend you to go pick up your item out of your box and
It's
look at
this
it.
Thursday at 6 o'clock, Sid, at Fox
Okay,
Hollow.
thanks, Scott.
Yeah.
I won't be there.
Oh, fine, okay.
Sorry.
And then the other one's for Marty again. And I think we kind of do this, the Safe Sidewalk Program. I know American Fork does it. I know Nate has been out, you know, that new method of drilling and pumping up some sidewalks, or various things that we can help citizens with sidewalks and things
So-
like that.
But this is cool because American Fork has a link on their website where you can call in it and report like a hazardous trip section on a sidewalk to the city, and they will come out and repair that. If it's something that's more cosmetic, that's in front of their home, they'll work with the homeowner on repairing that. But it was a really simple form, similar to the one that we were talking
Go,
about
yeah,
earlier
go
to
take a
create.
look at it.
It was really cool, and then I just think that would prevent, some accidents or things like that.
Sure.
So,
There's a lot more we could do on sidewalks, and there's a lot of need there.
$250
We
million
have-
need.
We have a $20,000 budget for sidewalk repair.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I'll ask them what their sidewalk repair budget is, and I'll also
Yeah.
look at their
But yeah,
program.
check out that form. I thought that was really
I think
cool.
even they did simple things like the grinding down, just simple things, so.
It's very
Yeah,
expensive.
no, it's, we
very
do a lot of
expensive.
that every year, so both the lifting is done in-house with Nate, and last year we had a few interns. I'm not exactly sure this year, I haven't seen the interns around, so.
But this might be good to kind of have some more eyes and ears out that will help your department in identifying those kind of
Sure.
problem areas. That might be a simple fix.
Sure.
That costs $20,000 to fix.
Sure.
And then Celebration was awesome.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
So it was good. We had our own little area, our own little hood to set up, and
Yeah,
it was
thanks,
good to
Eric.
talk to residents and have that. So thank you to staff for providing the water and the tent and the chairs and the table,
Yeah,
everything.
thanks,
So
Dan, to your department.
And on that, I'm just wondering if there's anything that we can do to encourage her to do that a couple more times, or
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 times
I
during
told
the
her July,
summer.
August, September.
Yeah.
So that's already on the books for next
Yeah,
year.
I mean, last year she did 2 of them. This year she got married this summer, so that was the thing that held up, and we only did
But I
one.
think since
so.
we have Strawberry Days in June, if we did a July, August, and even September, still pretty good weather. I think the once a month, I think is good. I think if it's every week, you don't get as big of turnout. But I think that once a month, people love that.
Like
That
the-
was so fun.
Have, like the third Thursday,
Yeah.
or
Mhm. Same
have
time
it
every month.
something consistent.
Mhm.
I also, I don't know, this would probably make Dion crazy, but if there was a sandwiching or either before or after Strawberry Days, I know that would be really hard on the park, but have like the Thursday before Strawberry Days, or,
Yeah.
So we'll talk with Ryan, who does that, and then
Yeah.
we'll see what
She-
her
it was
schedule is.
it was a beautiful, magical night
Yep.
when
It
the
was
sun
really
went
Yeah,
down.
she does a great job.
It was so hot.
It was magical right at about 8 o'clock.
It was,
when
it
the sun
started
went
getting
down.
magical about 7:30.
About the time I left?
Yes.
Todd?
Not that we coincide that.
And thanks, Dan, to your crew too and Sherry Arts Concert in the Park series that ended on Sunday. That was really fun. We only got sprayed by the sprinklers twice during the season, so thank you. That was a really, really fun series.
So much for not having it.
Okay.
Okay, I see you have your book out
My book
there.
out.
Go ahead.
Wait, Todd had
No,
nothing?
yes, he's given his 3 minutes to you.
Okay. I also wanted to comment on the celebration. I wanted to add that the down park, it was just joyful to see it filled with residents and enjoying, and, oh, that was a spam call. The warranty on my fridge is up or something. Anyway, the park looked fantastic. The grass is still, I'm stunned at what you have done to bring that grass back. So, okay.
It needs a little more water.
It needs a little bit more water. I haven't noticed it. I do have a question about the doTERRA roundabout. I had someone contact me, he's a sculptor, and so I don't know where to direct him to have conversations. We would like to
They're
have,
the ones paying for everything to go in, right, doTERRA?
What roundabout?
The doTERRA
Well, so,
roundabout.
okay, let's take a step back.
So the road dedication will be happening with, they've got a plat that we're finalizing. That'll dedicate the road, but the construction of the roundabout is being done by doTERRA according to our standards and what we've approved. But we've been very clear about the previous discussions about having things in the middle of the roundabout with regards to their names and things. So maybe different discussion that you're saying with a sculptor that maybe wants to do something that's in the feature in the middle of the roundabout or something.
Correct.
I guess we would have to analyze that, but as long as it's not, I guess, promoting a specific business or something, we'd
It's
have to
not a
consider that as a
doTERRA
city if we're gonna allow
sculpture.
those types of
It's
things
ju-
in the
It's a
roundabout.
lifestyle, it would be something like a lifestyle sculpture.
Let's have them start with us,
Okay,
yeah. And you can have them contact me and we'll start having the dialogue.
okay.
I give my 3 back to Doug.
Back to,
Oh, well, if that's the case.
Kathy, you have
I
anything?
always get your 3, Lynn.
We'll show up for the 27th, so you can finish your stuff there. One thing I have had, thanks, Marty, I know the VW settlement, that came up in a MAG meeting, they came and did a presentation, and I don't know if they sent a thing out to the city, because I brought it back and told Marty, but did you get any notification about that?
It may have come from you, Mayor. I don't know, I don't remember seeing who gave me the information, but as soon as we saw it, then we threw all the stuff, the
I think that was
application
one of the very
together,
first
so.
things that you did.
Well, that
Probably
Remember,
did.
you were somewhere and he says, I gotta run back and sign something.
That's where I remember it coming from MAG, so it probably was from you, Mayor, if you
Well,
brought
it
that
was-
back from them.
Yeah, and so I think that's probably why some of the cities, you know, they thought, oh, somebody's gonna be notified in the city, and they didn't. I think they were passing the word to us in MAG, and I thought, wow, it had my attention, and maybe that's why in Utah County it was just Orem and Pleasant Grove.
Because our mayors are paying attention, is what you're
That's
saying.
right.
Thank you.
So, you know, it's a
look
good thing,
here.
and I know it was a lot of work, time they had to
It was.
inspect and take pictures of the VIN plates and the motors and everything there, so.
It says that they had 50 applications and 379 total vehicles that applied for funding. So it looks like they selected 104 vehicles to replace, which we got 5.
Well,
So,
In the state or nationwide?
just our state.
this is state, this was a state thing, it was the state environmental people came down.
So is there a time frame where that has, we have to,
3 years.
oh, but I'm saying to start the 3 years, is there a time frame where we have to start?
This year?
We'll be before you with the agreement. There is agreement that we have to sign, so I'm sure we'll have to prepare a resolution and get that before the council for the mayor to sign the agreement, and then we'll go from there, so.
Okay.
That's awesome.
So what's the value, or did they put a value that we get out of that? depending on-
So total was $410,800 and something dollars or something, so, with the 5 vehicles, and that's the 50% match portion of it. So ours would be another $410,000 to match that based on that. 3 of the vehicles are actually plow vehicles and are fully equipped plow vehicles. So we're gonna be able to utilize, some of those plows that are on those vehicles may be able to be used again, but the new vehicles should be coming with new plow equipment even, so.
That's cool.
It's a good thing, well, that's a good thing I don't sleep through those MAG meetings, so anyway.
Thank you, Mary, that was a great job.
$410,000,
Yeah, hey,
Hey, really quick, can we give a shout out to Kathy for the elections? Because, and I got a lot of compliments on the Dropbox, the new Dropbox at City Hall. That was nice. And from day one filing, you kept everyone updated, informed, telling them where to go, what to do, what to send, submit, and then that's a lot of work. Even though we're doing mail-in, it's still a lot of work, so thank you.
Okay, well, Scott, do we have anything, we've already talked about our meeting on the 27th, which will be really short, and then do you have anything for our September 3rd meeting?
For our work session, we have a couple presentations. We have UTA coming. They want to do an update with what's going on. So I don't know specifically what they're talking about, but they've asked to come and have an audience with you. And then we have a group called Rebels for Change. They're tied in with the Columbine High School alumni and I don't know, Sid, do you have more info on that? They're an advocacy group for safety in schools and things, so they want to come and present, so we have them on the agenda for the 3rd. On the council agenda, mostly what we have right now are some planning items. The food truck park, which we had the code change, now they're looking at plat approval and site plan approval, so that will be in front of you. And I think Daniel said there's a couple other subdivision plats. So that's what we have right now.
Okay. Councilman Jensen, we're out of time.
No, this is
Sorry,
the
you had
challenge.
your chance, okay? Okay,
Great.
go ahead, we'll give
I
you the
put a
floor.
challenge out there via email, and I noticed a lot of the directors were uncomfortable or just chicken, I don't know, of taking on the council. But September 10th, 8 o'clock, we'll just have a open play time where you can come play with us on foosball or ping pong if you want, if you're good at that.
What about a 9-hole at Fox Hollow?
We'll miss
How about
you.
both?
We'll miss you. Yeah.
Well, so is this staff versus council? Is that? gonna be
That
kind
we're
of the
gonna
setup?
we're gonna change it up and just show up, and we'll make teams. Whoever shows up, and we can have a modified, I guess not chart. What do we want to call it? Bracket.
Well, I
bracket.
mean, if it's staff versus council, we'll start training. We're
There-
gonna
there
have some
will be-
practices. We're gonna,
I will have prizes for first, second, and
Okay.
third. I didn't want to put that out there, but I will now.
September 10th, 8 PM.
8 p.m. at the
at
rec center. Bring your own paddles if you're that good. Okay.
For ping pong or pickleball?
For
Ping pong.
foosball.
No pickleball. No pickleball. No.
We can do pickleball.
If you want it, it's up to people. Do you want to put pickleball into this? Marty? Okay, I'm with Marty, no.
So
Okay.
Brig is ours, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry, Mayor, that's, the challenge is on. We didn't get a lot of, September 10th, 8 p.m. Fire guys, please, you're all invited. Parks guys, we'll see.
Okay. Well, I think we've reviewed everything on our calendar. Thanks to Councilmember Jensen. But if there's none other things from the staff or the council, I would entertain a motion.
I make the motion to adjourn.
Fill the void, that's all.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you.